Hello everyone, I am Chandra Agarwala and welcome back to the web development tutorial. This is our day 5 and today also we will be discussing some more HTML tags. In our previous class we were introduced with HTML attributes and we will be using that in today's class a lot. So our today's contents are HTML tables and HTML forms. First we will look into the HTML tables. Now HTML tables are used when you want to display your content in the form of row and columns. Now for this we have a table tag and table must have rows and columns. So for row we have tr tag and for columns we have td tag. Now how our table is built is in table we have rows and inside rows we have columns. So here inside table inside table tag we have the two tr tags. That means we have two rows and inside each row we have two columns, that is two td tags. So in table we have two rows and inside each row we have two columns. Now apart from that we also have one attribute, that is border, and it is in pixels. If we do not mention this then we won't see any borders. Now let's see the output. So this is our basic HTML table. Here we can see this is the first row and this is the second row and you can see the borders around it. Now if you haven't given that attribute then there would be only content in this form but no borders. Now let's modify our code to this. Now this is same as before except that now you can see in first row we have used th instead of td, but in the rest we are using td only. So this th is for heading, because in your table you can have headings also apart from the rest of the columns. So now this heading will also come in a row tag. So we will have table tr and td and th. Now apart from that we also added two new attributes, cell padding and cell spacing. So cell padding is for your cells. That means each column, how many padding is required with the content, and cell spacing is your spacing from the border of the table. Now let's see here. See, this is the th tag, this is the heading, and these two are the td tags. Now we can see that in this example we are some space from the border. All cells contents have some space from the border, and you see the border also have some spacing with the inner border. This is due to the cell spacing. Now let's modify our code to this. Now this is same as before except this row span and column span. So what is row span? See, in your first row you have mentioned row span of 2. That means this column is going to take a place of 2 rows. So while mentioning the second row we have only 2 columns, because the third column of this is mentioned in the first row with row span of 2, and in the third row we have column span of 3. That means this row's content, that means this column is going to tag a space of 3 columns. Let's see the output and understand it more clearly. See, here we can see we have put row span of 2. That means this column is going to take place of 2 rows, and then we have put a column space of 3. So this entire row is going to take the space of 3 columns. Now let's go back to code again. Now see, when I have to give the row span of 2 and here I have 2 columns, but what if I have given here third column? Then we would have another one more column here with entry only in this row, because here we have mentioned the fourth column. Now let's go back and edit your code such that you have the border color and bg color attributes. Now border color, as name is specified, gives color to the border, and bg color gives color to your entire table. You can see here I have used the color names, but this is not recommended. You should always use the color code. Now this is our output. We have the border color of green and we have the background color of pink. Okay, now again go back to the code and add this width and height. Now if you do not have width and height, then your table takes the width and height of according to the content, that is how big the content is. But with width and height you can specify the dimension of the table. Now let's see the output. Now you can see the same table with the same content, but it is now a bit wider and height is also bigger. Now apart from that, we have also used one more tag, that is caption. Now this is used to give caption to the table, like here, table caption. So this was our tables. Now let's move to HTML forms. Now HTML forms are very important when your site is a dynamic. That means it deals with the backend application, because how your backend application will receive the data from the front end, only HTML forms are the way. So the HTML forms UI part is for front end developers, and its implementation, that is its backend part, is for backend developer. Now here we have various form elements: text field, text area, radio button, checkbox and drop down. Then the form tag itself has three main attributes: action, method and encryption type. Now with examples we will see what all these things mean. So let's move to the code. Now this is our HTML form. Please do not get scared by looking at this. It's very simple once you understand this. So we have the form tag, and inside this tag we will have all other tags. Now the form tags take three attributes mainly: action, method and encryption type. Now here I have not mentioned encryption type because we will require encryption type of multi-part form data only when you have to upload any file. Now action. Now in the action you have to specify the file name or path where you have to send the data. For suppose your backend part is written in a PHP, then you will have some PHP file with .php extension that will be processing this data. So you will have to give the name of that file or the path of that file. Now in method we can have get and post. Now whenever there is some sensitive information, then we use post. Actually while sending any data we must use post, because your data might contain some sensitive information. The difference between get and post I will discuss later on. Then we have the input tags. Now this input tags can have type attribute, name attribute, value, placeholder and many other attributes. So let's look at one by it. A type attribute can accept many values like text, password and many more. So first is our type text and name first name. Now this name is important because how your backend will receive the data, it will refer to your data with this name. So if it wants a first name, then it will refer to this name. Then for last name it will refer to this name. So all your attributes must, all your tags must have the name attribute, else your backend will not be able to receive the data. Then we have a placeholder. Actually placeholder is like whenever you see some light part in your field elements. That means what we have to do with this, you will see once I show you the example. Then we have name, course name and value HTML. Actually what we are doing here is, that means we want HTML value to be sent. We do not have to do anything with this. Now when you give value equal to HTML, that means you are specifying the value of HTML by default to this input text, but you can always change this. Now in this part we have assigned a value of 2017, but then again it is using the attribute disabled. That means you cannot change this value. Then we are using max length. Now suppose you want someone to enter the phone number and you know that phone number cannot be of length greater than 10. So we'll give this restriction. Now let's look at the form. This is our simple input form. This is our placeholder. Please enter last name. Whenever you click on this, then this will disappear. Then this is the value by default. This was also a value by default but with disabled attribute. Now this is the phone number with max length 10. But you see, if the length maximum is 10, then why we need so great input field? We can also define the size of this input field with this tag size. Size 10 means it will be of size such that you can enter only 10 elements. Now let's see another type. That means till now we have used type of text, but we can also use type password. What this will do is, it will, whatever characters you enter, it will show you dot 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 dot. Then we have text area. Actually text area is used to enter text with more than one lines. In simple type text, that means with input tag, you can enter only one line of input, but text area you can input multiple lines, and you can define the size of box with rows and columns, and also you can define the maximum number of characters. See, the password for type password, it is coming at dot dot dot, and this is our text area with rows and columns. Now we have the radio buttons and drop down and checkbox. Now in case of checkbox, you can select multiple elements. Radio buttons, as name specifies, select any one element, and drop down is like yours, it uses the select tag. First let's see the implementation. Okay, now this is our checkbox. You can select as many checkbox, and this is already selected because of the checked attribute. Then we have the radio buttons. You can select any one of this. Then we have the drop down. Here Maharashtra is already selected because of this selected attribute. And these are the values. That means whatever you select, this will be passed to the backend of the database. And this name, as I said, name is very important. Now you can see that in checkbox and radio buttons we have the same name. This is because it will be accepting only one value. That means it will be accepting all values with this name, and the values will be this. Then we have type of submit, reset, button, and hidden and file. Now as I said, if you want to upload a file, then you will have to use this attribute with multipart form data as a value. Apart from that, we have a submit, reset, button, and hidden. Submit will submit your form, reset will reset the entire form. Button, this is a button which we will use when we learn JavaScript to perform something. And type hidden, suppose you want to send some value by default, but you do not want the user to enter it, or user has no concern with that, then we will write it hidden, because this value will be sent but it will not be shown in the UI. So this is how our form looks, and this is our file, choose file, and this is because this will only work because of this attribute. If we have not given this attribute, then though you have selected the file, but it will not be sent to the backend. And that's the HTML form. Now we will discuss more about HTML form in later classes, because it is mainly important for the backend developer. The front-end developer have to look only at the UI part. All the name and values will be decided by the backend developer. So that's all, and thank you. If you have any confusion, any query, please leave in the comment section, and follow my page for more tutorials. Thank you.